Hi, Ashley here with HeartHookHome.com, and today we are going to learn how to do Tunisian crochet in the round. This is an ear warmer I worked up for the tutorial on Heart Hook Home, and we are going to learn how to do this together in this video today. So to get started, first, if you have never worked Tunisian crochet before, I highly recommend that you do a flat Tunisian project, like a washcloth or something small like that, that you understand the concept of Tunisian crochet itself before jumping into the Tunisian in the round. Also, I recommend having two different colors of yarn. So here I used a nice gray and a beautiful blue. That blue would be hard to see on video, so I decided to change it up a little bit to where we have this nice light gray and this white. You will also need to have a double-ended crochet hook. This is a 9mm hook, so I've got a 9mm hook on this end and a 9mm hook on this end. Once you have your supplies and you have your yarn balls separated into left and right, we are ready to get started. So the yarn on your left is going to be your forward pass yarn, and the yarn on your right is going to be your return pass yarn. If you understand Tunisian, that hopefully this makes sense. So I've gone ahead and done a chain here. This is a chain of just 20 stitches. We're going to make sure first that it is not twisted over on itself, and then we're going to we're going to form a circle like this. So this is going to be our Tunisian that we are working. You're going to find the very first chain that you made, and you're going to pull up a loop. You're not going to slip stitch, you're just going to pull up a loop. So I'm going to insert my hook here. I'm going to find this working yarn and I'm going to pull up a loop. So now we are going to do what we would normally do with a flat Tunisian, where we're going to pull up a loop in this one and this one and this one and this one and this one all the way around. Now since your hook here is rigid and it's not going to bend, you're going to fit as many of these as you can before you run out of space, until you can no longer move your hook comfortably. Then we're going to slide it down and we're going to use this hook to knock them off with this color. Cool, right? So let's go ahead and pick up all of these loops that we can. Keep pulling up the loops. Make sure that they're not too super tight on your hook. And we're just going to keep pulling these up. Okay, I've gotten all of these on my hook, and I don't think I could fit too many more very comfortably. So now it's time to start picking them off. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the back side. So we're just going to flip it over like this. And now we're going to use the white yarn to attach on this side, and we're just going to pull them through like we would with regular Tunisian. So let me find my yarn tail here. The elusive yarn tail. Okay, the very first loop that we make with this white yarn is going to just be one yarn over and pull through just once, just like that, to get her started. Okay, so now that we've got our white yarn attached, and that is our return pass yarn, now we're going to do what we normally do with Tunisian, where we're going to yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, all the way, or almost all the way. Just continue yarning over and pulling through two. When you get to where you only have one of the gray loops left, the forward pass, you need to stop. You do not want to yarn over and pull through those two. You do not want to do that. You always need to have a minimum of these two loops on your hook, one of the return pass and one of the forward pass. So now that I've worked off all of these on this end of the hook that I can, I'm going to push my hook back, and I'm going to pick up more with this side. So I'm going to turn it back to where I'm looking at the right side again. I'm going to find my working yarn with my gray, and I'm going to continue pulling up these loops. Almost to where I can't fit anymore, and I'm almost made it all the way back around to my beginning, so I'm going to try to get those, or as close as I can to those beginning. Yeah, we're going to do it. Okay, this is my 20th one. You can tell that this is the last one that I made because there's nothing else left there. So now that I've gotten the rest of that row or round on my hook, I'm ready to start picking them off on this side again. So what we're going to do is turn it this way, and slide it down so that we're looking at the white yarn now. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way until we have those 2 loops remaining on our hook, 1 gray and 1 white. Okay, one thing I will caution you is do not let this loop, it has a tendency to get really loosey-goosey. You can just kind of tighten it up a little bit like this if that happens. Now, since we're done pulling the white off of the back end, we're going to slide it back and turn it so that we can once again pick up loops with the gray. So here, let's take a look at what we've got before we do any more. Let's lay this out nice and flat. So here we've got our 2 beginning tails of yarn. I do not recommend weaving those in yet. If you want to tie a simple knot or just tie a little bow just to get them kind of shorter and out of the way a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Of course, depending on how large your project is, you could have a very large circle or a very small circle like this. So if you need to count your stitches at this point, you're going to look at the first, so here's our knot. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here's our first stitch that we did here. Here's our slip knot. So here's our first stitch. And then you can count all of these vertical bars going around the gray. If you need to count your stitches, if you're just making something like a coffee cup koozie and it doesn't matter how many stitches there are, then it doesn't matter. But make sure that if you are going to count, you're counting these vertical gray bars. And those vertical gray bars all the way around are the ones that you're going to be using to pick up your stitches in the next round. So let's look at how to start this next part here. So if you can see your first vertical bar, here's our knot, and this is our first vertical bar. This is our first Tunisian stitch, right? Since for this tutorial I am using the Tunisian knit stitch, we're going to stick the hook directly through the center of that all the way to the back. So find the center of that vertical bar right here. See where that hole is? That's where we're going to stick our hook, right in the middle, in between those 2. All the way to the back and pull up a loop. Now we're going to find the next one and insert our hook straight through the center of that vertical bar. And like I said, if you have never done Tunisian knit stitch before, I definitely recommend you take a look at that first, right? Before trying the round. So here's our next stitch here. We're going to go right in the center of those right there. And this is it, guys. We're just going to go around and around and around. And once we can't fit any more stitches on our hook, we're going to turn it and we're going to knock them off the back end. Right? So we're putting them on and then we're going to move our stitches all the way to the other side, turn it, and then we're going to use the white to knock them off. So all we're doing is creating more room for the front end to do its job. See how this yarn here is starting to get a little loose? Just take it and just pull it a little bit and it'll be fine. Now that I've got those 2 stitches left on my hook, I'm ready to slide my hook back and pick up more with the gray yarn. You can use any Tunisian crochet stitch to get started. You will need to look at the multiples. If you have a Tunisian crochet stitch that you want to use that uses, say, a multiple of 3, like the tiny clusters, I believe, then you'll want to make sure that you start with the correct number of chains, right, to get going. So here's all of my loops on my hook. I'm gonna move it down, find my white, and start picking them off. Once I have those 2 left, I'm going to tighten up my gray a little bit, slide it back down, and we're ready to continue pulling up. So my next stitch is this one right here. I'm going to keep on pulling up. So I'm going to do another couple of rounds of this, and then we're going to fasten off together, because there is a particular way to do that as well. You could, depending on what color you want to end with, you could either fasten off using the gray or you could fasten off using the white, depending on how you want it to look. So you can see that we're starting to get that knit stitch look here. Let's push it to the other end and let's start picking these off. If you always turn your work the same direction, these two yarns will never get tangled, and that can be really lovely if you don't ever get them tangled. It's kind of a pain in the butt if you get them all tangled up together. That's why I do recommend keeping them on separate sides of your workstation. Normally, if I'm sitting in my chair and I'm crocheting, I have this one on the floor on the left and this one on the floor on the right, or, you know, very far apart so that there's no possibility of them getting into a mess with each other. I think that's about all I'm going to fit on that one. Isn't this pretty? I love it. I'm going to do one more round. See, this is where we started, and you can tell because this is where our yarn tails are from the very beginning. I'm going to do one more round of regular Tunisian knit stitch, and then we're going to fasten off on this one. I might just make this into a little coffee cup koozie. Okay, I'm going to stop there for my last stitch because I'm directly above the knot here. I'm going to make this my last stitch of the piece, I suppose. Let's knock all of these off, and then we will be ready to do our cast off, which is just as important as the rest of the piece. All right, so we know that when we're working Tunisian crochet, the way that we cast off normally is that we make a slip stitch in each of these vertical bars, right? So you can either go ahead and pull, looking at this direction, you can either go ahead and pull this white yarn through so that you only have that white loop remaining, like a yarn over, pull through two, like this, so that you only have that white remaining. But then all of the slip stitches that you make are going to be white. They're not going to be gray, so it's not going to match the bottom. So let me show you what I like to do instead. I'll put this back on here. What I like to do instead, let me grab a stitch marker real quick. Pull this out. I'm going to place, so I removed the white from my hook. I'm going to mark that with a stitch marker so that it doesn't go anywhere, right? So now all I have left is my gray on my hook. You could go ahead and clip this yarn if you want. I don't, just because I like to, I don't know, I'm weird with the way that I fasten off and weave in things. I think we've established that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the next stitch, and just like I normally would with Tunisian knit stitch, I'm going to insert my hook and I'm just going to slip stitch, just like this. And you don't want to do your slip stitches too tight because it'll pull and it'll make the white more visible. So just find the next stitch, slip stitch in that, find the next stitch, slip stitch in that, all the way around, and make sure you're not doing them too tightly. You don't want to go so loose that they're sloppy looking, but you definitely do not want to go too tight. So we're going to slip stitch all the way around. Let's take a look here. Let me see if I can get my white out of the way. I'm going to do one more right in the center of this guy right here. And that's my last one that I made, so it's kind of funky looking. Let's go ahead and clip this off. I'm going to show you how I join these two together using the invisible join technique to make it look even more seamless. Or more seamless. It doesn't look seamless right now. So I'm going to snip my yarn. I'm going to grab my yarn needle. First, for the invisible join, I'm going to pull this straight on through. I'm going to thread this guy. And now I'm going to look at the first stitch, the first slip stitch that I made, which is this one right here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to connect it to that stitch down there. So I'm going to go from the front, go through like this. And then I'm going to take this and go through the center of the last one that I made. Just like that. Ta-da! Doesn't that look better? It already looks better. And then you just go back here and just weave in these ends. Of course, we'll snip this white one also now, which I said we could have done earlier. I'm just weird about it. So we'll take this stitch marker out. See if I can get this through without, I'm just going to tie a little knot here. And then I'm going to weave this in the back side, and I'll weave this in the back side as well. But see how this is my join right here? You can hardly even tell. It looks really nice, looks really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and weave in all of these ends down here as well. Kind of doing the same technique, just looking at it in reverse. So I'm going to take this white, I'm going to push it to the back so that I can weave it in back there and so that it's not noticeable on the front. See how I did that? And then I'm going to take this yarn tail and do exactly what I did up here, down here, so that we've got one cute little coffee cozy or whatever it is that we wanted to make. And you can use any stitch you want, any Tunisian crochet stitch you want. Isn't that fun though? And if you look at the inside, it's almost kind of reversible. Like how cute is that on the inside too, you know, like a funky looking post stitch almost, using different colored yarn. So I hope you enjoyed this Tunisian in the round crochet tutorial, and I look forward to creating more with you soon. Thank you for watching.